Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Wes! I'm gonna fight you! What's up, guys? We're back, and we're gonna get a guest on the phone. Jake can talk. I guess
calling him.
Yeah. All right. Let's just do it. Get into
Let's
it.
just do it.
Franco.
Hey, buddy.
Ball.
All right, we are now on the podcast. This is Adam Franco. He goes by Adam John, a friend of mine from Kings Point back in the day, and he played football. He's pretty good.
Was he better than you?
Franco.
Well, when Jake Miller's hamstring was working, I don't think anybody was really better than him.
Dude, don't say
All right,
that.
Thank
God
you.
damn
Thank
it.
you. No, Franco was a
come on, Frank.
Franco was a beast. He was short, played running back, but then they moved him out to wide out, so he got to hang out a lot.
Oh, nice.
All right,
Good
Tim.
dude, New Yorker.
What's his
hardcore.
overall? 88, 88, 89?
Yeah, 88.
All right, nice.
Good hands,
what
good
part
blocker.
of New York?
Oh, what part of New York are you from?
I lived in Brooklyn for like 12 years and then moved down to South Florida and lived down there for the majority of my life.
Much happier man down there, I'm sure.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
Land of DeSantis where we have no rules.
I love it. I love it.
Land of DeSantis.
Daddy Santis.
Yo, his son is a beast at football too. I
How old's
watch
your-
the videos.
How old's your son there, Frank?
I got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Nice.
Believe me when I tell you he's good.
Gets all the 10-year-old gets all the love right now, but the 8-year-old is coming up fast.
Coming for that ass.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, nice. So,
The topic today, we haven't talked about anything Afghanistan related yet, but you were in the Marine Corps.
All right, I got it.
And you were over there, so you kind of stay up to up to speed with like politics and stuff. Like I kind of watch your videos on Facebook, and you've always been a good talker and funny, and with just good insight, like a good thinker. So we want to have you on to hear kind of what you thought about it, and you could represent like Marine or any vets that fought over there, and just like what's going on, like what is going on, and give us a little bit of your background. And what do you got, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, just because a lot of us were pissed this week about what happened, and we never joined. We were never in it, but we also don't have a really place that we could talk about it. So we wanted to talk to somebody, who had a little bit of experience in that area. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen pictures and we've heard, you see memes, you hear stories, and people get all their news from all the wrong places. But if we can if we can cut out the fat and get to the meat of the story here, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was there in 2010. In 2010, I was an infantry officer. We were in this operation called Operation Mostarok. We cleared this city called Marja, Afghanistan. It had been in Taliban control. It was one of the few provinces, and really at that point, one of the few cities left that were truly under Taliban control. And I was part of the helo unit, so we heloed into the middle of the city. And then we fought for probably about 7 days, in a 360 environment until there was another battalion to our south, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, who finally cleared up to us. And then once they cleared up to us, they took over most of Marja.
What did that feel like seeing those boys?
No, I mean, it was a great feeling because like they were really struggling, like getting us, food and water and resupply. Like everything was done via air.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'd fight all night and then you fight all day and then all night long the Taliban like slept because they were terrified of our optics.
Yes.
We had thermals and MEGs and they were like, we're not playing with you at night.
Smart boys. Not really, but.
And then they're all night long you just be carrying in because God forbid the helo pilot could land the pallet in the compound. He wanted to always land it like right outside the wall of the compound, and he spent all night carrying stuff in.
Oh my gosh!
But like 2010 was very, the first part of the 2010 deployment. I had a ton of respect for the Afghan National Army because they knew it was going to be a hellacious fight, and they actually brought this Kandak, which is like the battalion, so they call them Kandaks.
Mm-hmm.
They brought them in from like the Northern Alliance area. And those guys were like trained. They knew how to fight. They knew how to clear buildings. Like you could tell they were like seasoned warriors.
Like
Like
are those the Peshawar guys? Whatever they are?
I'm not sure. I just knew them as they were the dudes that originally were like the Northern Alliance guys that supported like some of the initial stuff in 2001. But so they were legit Kandak. But then they left like 2 months into it, he got like a new Kandak who was like right out of boot camp. And then I was like, oh, well, this is gonna be hell. And they really, really struggled. They took a ton of casualties because they just weren't really well trained, and they had a ton of UAs because not only were they not really well trained, and they were the ones taking the casualties. You got to think about it, right? Like if you're walking on patrol and there's 12 Marines and there's 4 Afghans, and we take fire, and all the Marines get down, we know how to get into proper cover, we know how to return fire, and these guys, they don't know what they're doing. They're just standing up shooting back. Like who's the easy target? Right. So their casualty rate was way more than ours, and these guys weren't getting paychecks.
It's crazy.
The system was so crazy. So when I saw everything happen on the news and I saw how quickly the Afghans folded, there was 2 things that like immediately jumped into my head. The first thing, I was like, these guys have taken 65,000 KIAs over the period of them standing up these Afghans.
I had no idea that was that high.
I can only imagine the number of casualties they've taken that just they weren't KIA. They were just casualties, right?
Right.
So when you're taking that kind of casualty rate and you're not getting paid, because I'm sure they were seeing a paycheck every once in a blue moon, you don't have a whole lot of will to fight.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're like, what am I fighting for? These people don't even pay me. All my friends are like dying around me. So I thought that aspect of it. And then the other aspect I remember is, this might be, I don't even know, this might be in a secret realm. I don't really care anymore. I'm out. So we intercepted like a conversation between the Taliban commander and the guy that was in charge of our ANSAF force at the time, the Kandak battalion commander, or whatever they call him at the time. That basically they made an agreement that they weren't going to attack each other, and if the Marines were on patrol, they weren't going to target the ANSAF, and so they had an agreement. So the other thing that kind of popped into my head is the reason the Taliban rolled through this so quick is because the Taliban made agreements with the leadership. And the leadership allowed them to take provinces, cities, and things like that in exchange for basically just letting their Kandak walk home. Let us leave, and you guys can have this. We don't really care about this place. We want to go back to our province, like things like that. And a lot of the people that we trained, and they go with whoever's winning in the moment, right? So they all jump back over to the Taliban side.
And you think that was expected, right? That you saw that coming.
Everybody, anybody that's ever been there would tell you that they don't even know they're a country.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times they sent us on these things called census patrols in Afghanistan, and we would just ask them who the president was, and they would tell us the president of Pakistan.
Oh my God!
Britain. They did all over the world. They just got places and were like, oh, we're going to draw these lines and make a country. And these people are like, well, we're Pashtun. Those people are Dari. Like, we speak the same language as the people in northern Pakistan. Like, why am I part of this country?
That's exactly right. Afghanistan is like 50 to 100 to who knows how many different tribes that speak different languages, that have different cultures, that Westerners put together and were like, you're going to be a democracy. And you're going to be a country. And it doesn't work.
Yeah, we group them together too. Thinking about them.
Which it's happened a lot of places.
Frank. Yeah. I keep calling you Frank. I'm sorry, Franco. Frank.
What's his all good?
What do you want to be called?
Yeah.
I call him Franco. That's what everyone called him in school.
Most people to this day still call me Franco.
All right.
Franco.
So I just don't want to. I don't want to like piss this guy out.
So, he's out now. He's not going to snipe you anymore.
Last week when we were just done, right? We left. How many of the Afghan fighters that maybe you fought side by side with, or he worked with, or ipso facto knew? How many of those guys do you think just threw their weapons down and just ran, just went?
Oh, every one of them.
Yeah.
Like here's the whole thing. Like if number one, if you see your president flee the country,
exactly,
you don't got a whole. I mean, that guy fled the country faster than Joe Biden leaving an interview before.
I was going to say, let's be fair. Our president might not know what country he's in right now.
Yeah, he doesn't know. But no, the other part too that I thought was really funny was the way that people reacted all over media. Like, so everyone was like, "Oh my God, we just gave all this equipment to the Taliban. They have all these rifles and things like that." And it's like, that's true, but like the average person doesn't know that like the MRAP gets like 3 miles to a gallon.
Mhm.
Like, if the Taliban uses MRAPs, they'll be bankrupt at the end of the month. Like, they don't have enough money
To
to
gas
even
them.
drive around them. This to gas it's a 70-gallon tank.
Right, and that's the same thing with the UH-40s, the Blackhawks. Everybody's making a big deal about the fucking Blackhawks.
Everyone's like, "Oh, they got a Blackhawk." I'm like, well, I'm sorry. It takes a pilot like in
And a
the Marine
mechanic
Corps,
and-
2 years to learn how to fly it.
Yes.
Right.
And then it takes
In a
like-
class.
it
Studying.
takes probably like 30% of the value of that thing to keep it up and running for like 4 years.
And it's funny because as soon as I heard that as well, I was like, "Oh, dude, I can't wait to see that thing wreck." Like they try to take it off.
Well,
the first time.
most of the shit they got has been demilled anyway.
well, not only that, but like those MRAPs didn't start half the time anyway.
all the sand and shit.
It does suck that they got all that stuff.
The one thing, so the stuff,
The night
that
vision
sucks is that
sucks.
they got it right. You got there's
Drones.
the tactical level stuff. You're upset they got right. We always had a huge advantage by enemy not having MVGs, right? Not
Yep.
having thermals.
Yep.
Not having our weapons. Like, let's face it, like. You don't think they have AK-47s? Yeah, they do. AK-47s, it's the greatest, marketing plan ever, but it actually sucks as a rifle.
Right, they
And
jam all the
M4
fucking time.
Yeah, an M4 with an RCO is a great rifle. So, like, that's why all those dudes are running around with them. They're like, yeah, I don't need that AK anymore. Give me this one. And I have a whole bunch of ammo.
Yeah.
So
How could
that's
we
the
leave
part-
a stash of rifles? They seem so easy to take.
Oh,
Right.
Do you know why?
I get the
You know
helicopter and the
why?
tanks and all.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because the
It's just the display.
military-industrial complex runs everything in this country, right? So if you're like, all right, we have to outfit 300,000 people. We spent I think it's something like we spent like $200 billion to outfit that army. Do you really think that we bought stuff that we really should have bought?
No.
Or we
Right,
just
extra.
buying, like, hey, this congressman has the backing of Colt, right?
Right.
So now he's gonna get the U.S. government to buy, 1 million M4s to
Right.
send over there, and he's
True.
gonna get elected now for the next 4 terms because of that deal he got done.
Such bullshit.
That's the part that you have to really, like I said in my Facebook live rant, like.
It was
Watch
good, by the
over
way.
the
We
next
we
one.
all heard it. We all heard it. It was very
Yeah.
I sent it to them.
good. We liked it, and we were like, yeah, fuck yeah, we'll get him.
This is the
you
most
gotta
knowledge
watch-
conversation I've heard in years, and I'm like enthralled. I want him to keep talking forever.
I love when Brent
like,
turns
dude,
into
I'm
like
telling you
love mode.
you guys gotta watch over the next month and see what congressmen are really pushing for us to get back in that country.
Right.
And then you're like,
It's weird because now they're pushing
What
gay
more
rights
do
and
you
women
want?
rights. It's like that's what they're really pushing right now.
So Franco, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard a story through a couple of vets that I know, like you said, people have special interests, say Colt or whatever weapons maker. But it even boiled down to like mechanics tools. They would like bury shit in the desert, and then brand new tools will show up, and they would do it again. A couple months later, they would go bury tools because so and so
What's that?
lobbied, make diesel mechanics tools.
Yeah.
Down to the wrench, down to everything. They would get rid of them because they knew new shit was coming.
Yep.
And they had to make it seem like they needed it.
yeah, I mean, there's a part of that. There's a lot of gear that just, I think just went like unaccounted for. Like, we were told when we were going there that the unit was taking all their stuff back, and we needed to bring all of our stuff with us. So like when you train with mortars and 240s, you train with all of your equipment. And we were like, all right, well, they're taking their stuff. We'll bring our stuff. Well, we got there. We had all our stuff, and all their stuff was still there. So what happened? What happened when they got back to the U.S.?
They got to get
They
new
got all
stuff.
new stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. So somebody along that path.
Yeah.
like, we just
Raytheon,
put
Northrop, they just
yeah.
print money.
Boeing.
Boeing.
that- Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's just. I think the way that the whole thing went down. I think the biggest thing. But if people are like, "Oh, we're blaming Biden, we're blaming Trump," like, all right, shush. Like, what you really have to blame in this one is the withdrawal plan, because so the way we knew that Afghanistan, the way that it was set up was kind of messed up, and the way the airports were set up were messed up. Like Kabul airport, like that's a dangerous airport. Like you could see the Kabul airport from multiple buildings. Like you could shoot at the damn runway. The military's like, we're not doing this, and they built Bagram Air Force Base,
Mm.
right? So you would think a good administration which you really can't necessarily completely blame the administration, but that's who gets the blame.
Yeah.
Like you would think, but you think the generals would have a better withdrawal plan. Like you should have used Bagram as your egress point. All American citizens should have gone to Bagram and been safely extracted.
That's
Not
so
the crazy
obvious.
Shit we had,
It's
like not the stupid shit we had going on in Kabul, where it's like, you just had to drop 3,000 Marines into Kabul International Airport just to secure it and get, and so the military could take over and land planes. You literally had Bagram Air Force Base that basically like sits on a plateau, and it's like that wasn't a good idea. Did no one
Wow.
did no one read any history? Like take the high ground.
Do you think they
around buildings?
Do you think they wanted some publicity off of this or something? Like they wanted people to see it?
I don't know, man. Like I don't think there's any good publicity that comes out of it.
I don't either.
I don't see any good anything.
I don't either. I'm just saying
wanna
why.
be like a complete conspiracy theorist, but
Right.
like you kind of got to think like every time something crazy goes on like this, I'm like, what bill are you guys trying to pass right
Or
now?
what's going
Yeah,
on?
where's the
Exactly.
paperclip gonna land,
But
and
that-
what bullshit are you sneaking in?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it just got out and it was gone and that was it. It wouldn't have made the news. Now it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it like, oh my God, people falling from the planes.
I do love the fact, and I wasn't a Trump supporter. I really don't support too much of
Gay.
anything. Yeah, I know, but I do love the fact that they keep stammering and blaming everything on Trump. I love it. It's like, no, you're wrong.
It's
like you really I mean, I hate to do it because like he's on my top 5 list of people I want to have a beer with.
Okay.
But Bush, bro, you had a daddy complex. Like you went into Afghanistan. All right, everyone said, "Yep, screw you. You want to turn all over Bin Laden? We're gonna go into Afghanistan and we're gonna we're gonna kick the crap out of you, Taliban, and then you're gonna hand us Osama bin Laden."
Right.
And like 2 years into that, he was like, Saddam yelled at my dad. I'm gonna go fight.
I
that
think
guy.
everyone knows the
And
Iraq
you just,
invasion
like-
was
Yeah, at
under
this
false
point, yeah.
pretenses.
You just completely pivoted over to Iraq, and that's what ended up like really like setting the tone in Afghanistan. So you want to hear a really crazy story about Afghanistan?
Yeah.
So like in one of my first shures that like I ever did, like where we actually were sitting down with the people, like this is probably like a month after we cleared. This guy who everyone told me he was a Taliban commander. I was like, I don't care. Like this guy, I want to go meet with him. I'm gonna go patrol right to his house and talk to him. Like, so I'm sitting there, and we're sitting across from each other. And he's an older guy. He's probably like 55, and he's got like it's definitely his grandbaby. Jeez, I mean, the way Afghanistan works, it could easily have been like his great grandbaby.
Right.
Right. We
And this little kid is like 2, and he's just crawling all over him. And we're just talking back and forth. And he told me, he said, like, you guys will never win this war. And I'm like, all right, I'm intrigued. I'll take the bait.
Right.
I'm like, why? And he's like, and he said this, and it's so true. He's like, Americans, you guys all have the watches. We have the time. And I was like, fuck, you guys are going to win this war.
Yeah.
I'm
One
like, 'cause I don't
simple
even wanna
statement.
I'm like, I don't even want to be here this time. And I'm pretty sure I have to come back at least one more time.
Jesus.
I'm here
There-
3 times.
Their whole thing is they know we have beautiful America to go back to. We're not going to sit there forever. And we should have left, right? We all agree, I think, that we can't stay here forever.
Yeah,
If
but
they
you
don't want to
can't-
fight for it, why are we there?
Right.
I mean, we don't want to
100%.
create a terrorist state that bombs our country, right? That was
Right.
the whole
It
idea.
had to happen.
Well,
at
that
some
and,
point.
and everybody knows that the 20th anniversary of 9/11 is fucking 3 weeks away, bro. It's like it's just a perfect storm of bullshit for American publicity and all this shit going on, and with President Biden picking a date, just telling everybody what we're gonna fucking do.
Like he said, if we just went out of Bagram, it wouldn't even been a big deal.
Right.
I think everyone's just shocked at how quickly the Taliban just took back over, right? I
They were
think-
just waiting.
I think. I mean, listen. When we were in Afghanistan, like even though we took over Marja, there was a shadow government that was still in charge.
Hmm.
And we had on my second deployment, which I actually went back to the exact same city on my second deployment, and it was in my opinion, the first deployment was like what every Marine thinks they want to have for their deployment until they're there.
Right.
And my second deployment was, I felt like the first time I wasn't just like walking around waiting to get shot at, but we were more offensive. I had a really good intelligence officer He built out their network. They were doing a bunch of secret squirrel stuff to build out the network. By the way, if the law enforcement's ever looking for you, throw your goddamn phone in the water and run.
And be done with it.
Just run. Like, throw your phone in the water and just, go completely dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, your phone is a link to literally
everything.
Yeah.
It's your brain, bro. You're carrying your.
Yeah, I love the people with the vaccine that are like,
yes,
hey,
I know.
You know what? They're chipping me. I'm like, listen.
They already chipped you.
That's Mike's favorite thing.
Listen, Susan. No one cares about where you are. Okay.
Right.
They know.
They already know.
We already see your cart on Amazon. We know everything about you.
Right.
Dude, they have your pattern. They have your patterns. They have what you're looking up, what you're thinking about. They have everything.
My sister works Intel for a living, and she's done it for a very long time. And she straight up told me, whatever you think the government knows, they know 10 times more. Just keep living your life.
Yep.
And thankfully the government's like very incompetent in a lot of things.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, the government has all this data that eventually they're gonna by accident lose.
Yeah.
Well,
whenever building
China
it, saying,
comes for it.
we'll just fake bomb it, and then we'll go to Afghanistan for 20 years. It'll be awesome.
That's the thing, man. I mean, I didn't even go. Obviously, you didn't go.
Fuck no.
And you didn't go, and it's like it's been a huge.
I went to Kuwait. That was close as I got. I was on a ship.
It's been a huge.
I don't even want to go to Kuwait, bud.
You brought tanks over there. Yeah, I was on that one ship. Adam, you remember this because you were a cadet too, right? You had to go out to sea.
I went to Australia, but Kuwait.
Yep. Well, I was there. We
Where
brought
you
back
were?
all these. Yeah, it was like 2005. We brought back all these tanks and Hummers that were all shot up and destroyed, and had like people's names that died on them written on them. It was pretty messed up.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
that.
When I was a cadet, like my brother was there in 04, and when I was a cadet, I was sailing in 05 when I went to Australia, Kuwait too, and we had like probably about a deck full of like U.S. military cargo, and like there was some stuff that like still had blood in it.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
I was like, I thought you guys were supposed to like strip and clean these, and they
They were fighting at that point.
Dude, you could
Like,
barely trust.
They were like nasty fighting at that point, and like
Yeah.
one of the guys was like, "We don't have enough time to literally clean all."
Dude,
of
there's
these.
people that can't clean like the Target bathrooms. Like
Right.
Yeah.
these guys are actually out there fighting a war, and they're like, clean what?
Yeah, they strip it down, but I mean, they're not washing the Hummer.
Yeah.
They take out
No,
the good
yeah.
stuff.
Also, I don't know what this is a random thought, but I also heard about like they had a lot of burning pits over there that really messed up a lot of soldiers.
Mhm.
That's going to be a lasting effect.
That's going to be a major thing.
Yes.
So like my
What
brother
was
was
this?
in Iraq, the burn pits. So my brother was in Iraq, and he has leukemia now.
Yep.
And
Crazy.
and it's the burn pits and guys getting like there's like 3 or 4 cancers that are coming. Leukemia is one of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's going to be a big wave.
That's going to be the Agent Orange of our
Mhm.
generation.
Oh shit.
And
So-
But people are aware now, though.
I think people are getting aware. There's like when you're getting out of the military, there's like a list you're supposed to sign up on if you were exposed to burn pits. But like we were like, there was no trash. We had trash. Like everyone threw burn like all your trash. You're like, oh, they're like, go put it in that pile over there. We're gonna burn it. We're like, oh yeah. Throw it. Then all of a sudden,
Exactly.
like, someone put a battery in there by accident. It was like firework going off.
An asshole.
Jesus
but
Christ.
you had like the young new guys literally tending the fire all day.
And there was
long.
shit and stuff in there
That's
too,
what
right?
their job
Wasn't there
is.
body
Just
waste
everything.
and everything, like human
Dude.
waste and?
Like,
You can think about
oh
it.
yeah, human waste, 100%.
It's disgusting,
There was
bro.
human
Jesus
waste in there.
Christ.
There's batteries, and there's guys literally being told, "Hey, who are your fuck ups? Go have them stir the burn pit."
Oh my! I mean, that's
Jesus Christ.
it's rough and it's
we're
terrible.
so dumb. We're the most sophisticated
Yes.
and dumb military
Preach.
at the same time.
Yes.
Like, why weren't we shipping over like big incinerators to do that?
Exactly.
At least blow the smoke into the air,
Right.
not just out
Yeah.
everywhere.
or just bury it like a landfill.
My tent was
That's
my
what it
tent
was.
where I slept was like 100 feet from the burn pit.
So you're just waiting.
That's ridiculous.
Just waiting for.
I hope you're getting like
my third
fucking.
nipple.
I hope you're proactive about your health and getting screened a bunch, bud.
Yeah, I mean a lot of guys are like anybody who's under any type of VA care, they definitely are getting screened. But I think like cancer is a thing. Like as long as you're going for your annual checkup, like everybody's getting screened for cancer.
Right.
Yes.
Catch
Catch
but
it
yeah,
early.
I mean, it's just the whole thing is fucked up. I feel really bad for. So there's people I feel bad for, and there's people I don't. Right? Like I feel really bad for the guys that I know were actually there and fighting and lost like friends, and they're struggling a little bit with trying to find out like, did this actually matter?
Right.
Right. And
Right.
And like, I think there's a lot of guys like that. I feel bad for them. You know, like I never really struggled with whether or not I felt like it mattered. Like that was never my concern. Like I thought, you know, we were making people's lives there better. Maybe it was only for a short period of time. Maybe I only made the people's lives better in Marja for 5 years, right? But for 5 years, that little girl didn't worry about getting.
Hey man, hey,
like,
you were following
you know?
you were following orders and you were there for the mission, right? You're doing what you're supposed to do.
And I think a lot of vets, you know, I saw this hashtag trending. It was like blame the suits, not the troops.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
something like that. And but then I think but then there's the other side, right? Then there's the person who like is on social media posting all this craziness
Just
about
talking.
like just basically looking for the attention.
Right.
Like, oh, I went to Afghanistan and oh my God, I'm really struggling with this so much. And like then you see all the comments like, we love you, Susan.
Yeah.
I'm like, Susan, you didn't leave the wire, Susan.
Didn't leave the
Didn't
wire.
leave the wire. Yeah, so like it's just like anything. You know the guys who were out there fighting, and then you know the guys who might have went, but they're at like the forward operating base, and they never left the little computer lab or whatever, and they're the ones that are posting, looking for
Those
attention.
are the
Right.
ones that are
Yeah.
posting, which
I
find
feel-
That's how life is.
I think vets in general are frustrated about that. It's like, hey, listen, I'm not knocking your sir. I'm not knocking you deployed.
Right.
Right. But like, you're just looking for the likes on.
Right. You weren't kicking doors open, bro.
Anyone that's actually dealing with something is not out there like throwing it up there to fishing line out into the social media.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
That's not how you deal with
You know what
stuff.
I did?
No.
You know
They're in
what
a
I
dark
did?
spot.
Fuck no.
You know what I did? So in 2014, my interpreter, I worked for years, and I got him over here. So I called him yesterday, and I couldn't get through to him, and he called me back today. He's here. He lives in Seattle now.
Nice.
He's got 4 kids, and he called me back today, and I was literally on the way home before this podcast. And my son's in the car, and I was like, "Holy cow!" And he's like, "Who's Shakur?" I'm like, "It's Shakir." I pick up the phone.
2-pack.
I'm like, I pick up the phone. I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I was like, you know, and I was talking to him because he's here. He had a visa, but none of his other family got a visa. And I'm like, "How are you doing?" Like blah blah blah. And he's like, "You know, we're doing good. I'm very worried about my family." And then he was like, he's like, "It just happened so fast."
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it's not even that the Taliban takeover, it's not like people keep saying like they're surprised how quickly the Taliban took over. I'm not surprised at how quickly they took over in the sense of like when they tried to take over. I thought they were going to immediately try to take over. I'm surprised they steamrolled the country in 2 weeks.
So
Right.
But then
did
the
they?
same token, you're like, you didn't really. They had no resistance. Like the people, they had
Exactly.
no will to fight them.
Is the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan right now?
They are.
I know that sounds like a dumb question, but
No.
There's probably like 3 or 4 contested provinces. So like, you know, there's maybe one province that's under non-Taliban control, but like those are the Northern Alliance guys. Like
they got their own thing. They're not even
Now,
really
didn't-
Afghanistan.
Didn't
they're
they?
like, listen, the Taliban ain't climbing this mountain to fight us.
Now, didn't they actually just roll back into Kabul, like a Northern Alliance, and take over like a certain? I swear I saw something earlier.
I don't know.
Is it like the general's like son and a bunch of? It's a pretty cool thing. They were literally riding in
I
with.
mean, I don't know. Like, so the one thing that there is
I'll have to
is like
put-
there's going to be. I think the Taliban is going to live the world of the opposite of what they've got to, you know, do for the last 20 years. Like there will be an insurgency. You already see it happening.
some gross
and
shit's about to happen.
Yeah, like there's going to be an insurgency, and like there's some dudes in Afghanistan that are special forces trained to become Afghan special forces that were loyal to that country
Right.
and were hated, like the Taliban, like deep hate. Like maybe the Taliban destroyed their village, raped their mother. Like who knows? But it was a deep. You know, those guys are never bending knee to the Taliban. So like the Taliban's going to be in control, but they're going to fight.
Still be
A
fighting.
quasi civil war for a long, long time.
I got a question for you. I got 2 questions. One, can the Taliban like run a government that's like that
That's a
people don't
fucking great
that don't want
question.
to flee? I know they have, but like I'm talking like a real government with
Right, like
documents
run a
and
country.
like, you know, money and stuff like that. And then I forgot my second question, so just go with that one for now.
So I think what people don't realize is like in a lot of places, the Taliban never lost control of the government. Like even where I was, there was a shadow government. That shadow government still ran shit. Like
Like the shadow government being like Russia, or like shadow government being like the Taliban was running?
The Taliban.
Like the
Okay.
Taliban.
Okay.
So like so and so is who Karzai appointed, but everyone's like, yeah, he's not in charge.
Yeah.
There's the Taliban.
Somebody's
dude.
actually
That
pulling
guy
strings.
is
Kind of like
still
our
in
country.
charge.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Biden's in
So
charge,
the
but,
Taliban
like,
was
not
still
really.
very. I think that's a big reason why it happened so fast. Like the steamroll effect was because the Taliban really was still in charge of a lot of the country.
Yeah.
You know, and you saw their campaign plan. Like they didn't go attack random places. They deliberately marched
Mhm.
city to city and took out like 6 cities and claimed the whole country. We
Crazy.
took out 6 cities, you claimed the whole country. Well, that's because you controlled everything out
Already.
of the city.
Right, all the
And
infrastructure.
The only reason you couldn't control the cities is because that's where the U.S. still was. Right? We pulled all of our stuff back into this advisory role, and we were sitting in these fobs in these cities,
It's supposed to be
and like. You know, as soon as we said, all right, we're leaving, and we pulled out,
roaches.
we pulled out of Marja, Lashkar fell. Pulled
Right.
out of Kandahar, you know, Kandahar fell. It's like
You saw it coming.
No shit, guys.
Right.
Well, how are we
Like,
supposed to
They were
feel
just waiting.
the regular, rank and file citizen, us? How are we supposed to feel about the government that told us these guys are ready to fight now? The Afghanis can handle it. We're moving out,
Right.
right? Because they didn't tell us we're moving out. Oh, and by the way, the Taliban's just going to take back over.
Right.
But it sounds like everyone knew that, including the Taliban, including the Afghanis, including you.
Yeah.
Why did they lie about it? They being
It's government.
the
It's
generals.
government.
Biden lied about
Yeah,
it, like
it's-
blatantly.
they all
Yeah.
did. I mean, like you said, Biden had a press conference in April where he's blatantly
No.
lying about how they're ready.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw
I remember seeing that and being like,
What is he?
yeah,
Yeah. What movie's he
there's
watching?
No way these guys are ready.
that. So
Yeah.
my point is, you can't believe anything anymore, and that's unfortunately for me. I've lost. I don't want to take this to a weird place, but
You
I've
don't
lost
wanna go
complete
uber
trust in the
geopolitical.
government. Complete trust. I have no trust in the government at all. They
But
can't
why
tell the
would you?
truth
But
about
why
the
would
little
you?
things. You lie about the big things.
Everybody lies about everything. There's just to get
It's a constant news cycle of misinformation.
yeah.
Right. And it's been, the misinformation, it's crazy, right? Because like, think about all the things recently in the last 6 months that fact checkers have said are false that
Right.
ended up being true. And
Yeah.
it's like, wow, like not only are you guys controlling the narrative, but now you're controlling on telling the American people what's true and what's false.
Mhm.
So what's going to happen in like another month, the news cycle will spin, and this will end up not looking as bad for Joe Biden.
Well, that's
And the
because
things
that's
that
because
he's-
Biden's going to
he's
end up at a
said,
Yankees. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you. Sorry, my bad, dude.
No,
Hold
it's
on.
good, but it's the things that he's. Listen, anybody in the Democratic Party, you're covered by the media. I was actually surprised how harsh they were on him for about 3 days until they figured out how can they pivot to
You're
blaming
right.
Trump or blaming the Afghan president or anybody else but him.
Right.
Because they're like, you know what? You can't be president, Joe, but I don't even know if we could put Kamala here and win in 2 more years.
Dude, where's she been?
So we're trying to figure that out.
Nobody's heard from her in weeks. By the
Where's
way,
she been?
nobody's heard from her in
You're not
weeks.
supposed to hear from the vice president. So
Well, she's supposed to
Hopefully.
go to. She was like supposed to go to Saigon, Vietnam, and I was like,
For what?
I'm like,
Dude,
you're fucking with us, right?
love
They're punking
Saigon.
us. Like they're punking us right now.
Right.
Literally, this was the Saigon
Yes.
of our generation,
Yep.
and she's going to visit Saigon. I'm like, who's messing with us right now?
it is. It feels like they're doing it on purpose.
Right?
Like it's
It's
too
almost
much
a slap in the face to people who really fought for this country.
It's like them trying to write history or something. Weird
Franco,
way.
who's the main backer of the Taliban outside of who's the real state?
It's got to be the
behind
Saudis. It's got to be the Saudis.
No, I think it's a combination. So I
it?
think
Saudis are our
Iran
boys.
is-
Not anymore.
I think Iran is the true backer of the Taliban, but China wants a piece. So when we should have actually left Afghanistan, I think it was like 2008, maybe it was 2009, where the Afghan government decided to sell like all of their mineral rights to
Mhm.
China. And that moment was the moment where Obama should have been like, "What the hell did you just do? All right, we're out.
Right.
You
Right.
just gave all your mineral rights to China. Like, we're not here to protect you and China's interest
Yeah.
in their mineral rights." So I think you'll see
China's so
you'll
dirty.
see a major
So
influence
rich.
of China over the next few years. But like they're extreme when it comes to Islam. Like, I don't know how that interaction will come with China, but I think that what China will do what they've done to every single country. Like, China basically owns Africa. China basically owns
North
Chile
Korea.
and Argentina now. I mean, they basically come in with all their money and say, "We'll build your roads. We'll build you
Free internet
rail
for everyone.
infrastructure. We'll do all that stuff, and we're going to charge you this. And then for the next 100 years, you pay me this." And all these warlord type dictators are all like, "Yeah, it's a lot of money. I'm going to buy a cool yacht and have a bunch of supermodels." And now then China basically China owns like
it's this weird.
They do own Africa.
Honestly, it's like this weird new version of like Rome, to where they're taking over in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
They play the long game.
They're not conquering. They play the long
Dude,
game.
they're so patient.
They're not conquering.
They're the
but
most
they are.
patient.
Oh, they're just treating like little bitches. But like North Korea too.
But wait till they flip the switch, though, and it's all fucking over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
doesn't North Korea like not export
And
anything?
they also
and they still
shoot
have
themselves-
all this money to fund
Right.
their bomb testing.
Yeah.
They don't feed their citizens, and we all heard that whole spiel on Joe.
But
recently.
then again, there's also people living in North Korea that are completely content with the way things are being.
They don't know any different.
4 people.
yeah,
I'm just saying. Just saying.
they literally have to act happy.
You guys ever watch that video of the American that defected to North Korea?
To North Korea?
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Wow, they probably treat him good.
Yeah, he'll probably be fine.
Anyway, back to Afghanistan. Afghanistan animation. What else you got, Franco?
I do want to ask him. Don't you want a president like that seems somewhat healthy? That's not in his 70s.
I'm so over this old man white. Not even white guys. I should.
Okay,
I should,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what?
you
You know
already-
what? I'm
you
not
already
gonna go
messed
there.
up.
Like-
Fuck that. Fuck that.
That was just my knock with both Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We got these senile like
we need listen, we can't have people that can't even log into their computer.
I mean,
So-
you're
That's
right.
such a good point,
if you
though.
think about it,
They could barely hold their own shit.
if you're interviewing someone for a job
yeah.
and you get everyone that you're interviewing is like 76 years old,
Mm-hmm.
like you're not going to hire them.
Right.
You're going to be like, well, no, I need the youngest and brightest. Like I need the strong performers. I need those guys.
it's got to change.
Our government is run by the 75-year-olds.
Yes.
Dude,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
And
That's one of my biggest problems with the American government is that there's nobody that represents the actual average age of the people in the country.
There's a few.
There's something to be said for wisdom and knowledge and stuff like that.
They're running on old wisdom, though, bud. They're running on Kennedy wisdom.
That's wisdom.
I love Kennedy.
I bet you did.
I didn't, but I like him a little bit.
Hey, he fell backwards. The shot came from front.
What's that, Franco?
we need to definitely we need an age cap on the president. It
Yes.
really does. Like
I agree.
As much as I did, I wasn't a huge fan of Obama. I didn't like a lot of things he did.
He's in shape.
But Jesus Christ, he has kids, and at least he understood what the average American was going through.
That is true. That is true.
Like Joe Biden, it's like, bro, your son is a crackhead. Literally.
Living in hotel rooms.
Let him get it.
I'm like, how many videos are going to come out about this guy already? Like,
He's in bed with China, Russia, whoever he's in flying around.
Dude.
with,
He
you
makes
know.
a gazillion dollars. He says.
He gives zero fucks about anything.
Yeah.
no.
He's a wild child.
I got
Imagine
one
just-
more question.
All right.
For just to stick on the president thing one
Okay.
minute longer, like who do you see in the next presidential race? If you had to guess, like anybody, what do you see happening?
I really pray. I really pray that DeSantis doesn't run, and it's purely selfish because I need him to stay in Florida to protect me and my football season.
Right.
Hold on. What part of Florida are you in, bud?
I'm in Melbourne, Florida. I'm the OC at this school called Cocoa High School. We're a top 25 team every year. in the
Oh, okay.
country or
Awesome.
Legit
we're-
football.
We're good. We're low. There's just D1 kids everywhere.
Like you have guys that go pro, right?
I think we have 5 guys in the NFL right now.
Favorite
I-
favorite
That's
NFL team. Favorite NFL team.
Oh, Giants.
Oh, fuck
off. Eli,
Don't
baby.
Get me started with ghetto fuck.
Fuck off.
Don't get me started
You had a
with
good
that
year back then.
No, I'm a Dolphins fan. I was hoping that maybe you turned.
guy. No.
Never.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that my Cocoa team gives Merchant Marine Academy a run for their money.
Franco.
I talk to Choop all the time. I tell him all the time. He's like, you wouldn't have an answer for our line. I'm like, Choop, we get the ball out of her hand in 1 second. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how you would guard our receivers. I'm like, I just don't know how you would.
I don't think Teal could cut it. What do you think?
No, Teal gets destroyed.
That must be an inside. Is that
He
another
just said
guy?
he was a guy. He was one of our friends. He's a good dude. Teal, if you're listening,
Damn.
He ain't
you
listening.
can't cover the guy that on Franco team.
I'm literally I'm just gonna capture that one sentence and I'm just sending it to him.
All right, Jake,
No,
you
but
had
I think,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I mean, if there's one guy if one person that I think could be a good president for us, it's DeSantis. I think everyone needs to watch for what's her name? That Nikki
Haley.
Yeah, I think she's gonna make a run and she's gonna have a chance.
Who the hell is
She's gonna be
that?
She was the governor of South Carolina, and then she was
governor
a
of South Carolina,
Secretary of State.
Yeah.
See how much I watch like cartoons and not
I
politics?
think she's got a chance, but the real question is like, I can't see Joe Biden running again.
Or winning.
Dude, he's going to be 100 years old.
I mean, like if you actually go, if you don't ever show it to you, they'll never put the actual clips up, but go read the actual transcript from his recent ABC interview, and you'll be like, this guy should not even be in charge of a popsicle stand.
Well, he's got cognitive decline or whatever. Like, he's clearly mentally unstable, but he was always a piece of trash.
So a coworker of mine he's not so much a Trumper, but he's not a Biden guy. He honestly thinks that the 25th Amendment's going to be pulled on Biden by the end of the year.
That's why they brought it up a long time ago. But there's no one competent to take his place, so really, no one's in
Vice
charge
President.
anyway.
No, dude. Kamala Harris hates black people, and she's black.
She's Indian and black, yeah.
Whatever she is, she hates
There's
black
nothing worse than her.
Dude, she sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways, you had
one more
question.
Afghanistan question. So you saw the video of the plane leaving, right? Everyone's seen the video of the plane leaving.
And the powerful picture.
There's one guy who's running by the camera, totally smiling.
Yeah.
Yes. Saw that.
Who's that guy?
I don't know who that is.
What's up with that? Is
Well,
he?
I honestly
happy.
I honestly think it's a mixture of adrenaline and just
He's not trying to get on the plane.
I don't know, man.
He's just running
A
like,
lot of
yeah.
them weren't. A lot of them weren't.
They were just around the
No.
plane.
No, I think a lot of them were looking to get out of there. They really were. I saw the same video. The guy has like his hands up and he's like running
Yeah,
in front
he's
of
pumped.
the camera.
And then you see the white
and
guy with
it's
the
like-
backpack.
It's like weird and like, you know, I think some of them are like my question is like none of that footage. Some of it looked like cell phone footage, but like that footage
It was like a real news camera.
Dude, it was like
that's
HD
a new
footage.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's someone there.
I guess my
The crazy thing. So I have a good friend who's still very connected in like the aviation community, and like the people you see fall off, that was like supposedly nothing. Like
Oh, it was way more.
like people like hung on for a long time and then
Yes.
See,
basically
that's what
just
I don't
ended
get.
up dying over like
Dude,
the Indian Ocean.
The
Another
upper body
guy-
strength of those
Another
MFers.
guy actually got caught. like,
Yeah, in the
got
wheel.
stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's two. So there's one that got caught like on like a little part of the wing,
Mm.
not the wing, like the little bump out that they were all sitting on. One guy got caught there, and another guy actually got caught in the landing gear, and they had to like cycle the landing gear multiple times because people were on the landing gear.
Oh, that means they got crushed.
Do you think the
So
pilots
they
were
just crushing these
fearing
people and drop-
for their
Oh.
lives, and that's why they left?
Yeah, I think the pilots were fearing not just for their lives, but the pilots have a responsibility to
To go.
protect their aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also stories out there that I have no ability to confirm this, that the pilots literally their crew had to like step out and shoot people that were like trying to then re-enter, because like even when that tail goes up, like there's a part where you can kind of climb up
Yep.
until the top closes,
Mhm.
and there were so many people still trying to climb
couldn't
up that part.
So it's kind of like an elevator door trying to close kind of deal?
So it's like the bottom closes and the top shuts and seals.
Okay.
They couldn't seal it because there's people there and there's people trying to get in.
Oh,
I
my
bet you
don't know,
those.
man, Eventually one of those people on that, one of the crew members on that is going to end up on like, you know, some
Documentary.
news organization,
Yeah.
and they're
I
going
mean-
to talk about.
I mean, they're
the
just
whole
regular
thing.
airmen,
But I
like
feel
on a
really
crew
bad.
shooting people.
Right.
Yeah, it's just an Air Force crew.
Yep.
Like,
Dude,
those guys they weren't ready for that. Dude,
They don't do
were
combat.
clearing
Dude, for
the runway
that-
with Apaches.
For those guys to even like start going down to do their takeoff, just to do their takeoff and start hitting some speed, that had to kind of sucked. They had to kind of be like, oh my god, like we got to go though, and they
But-
just had to toughen up and just do it.
But the thing we're not seeing is there's been a major, like every fucking transport plane has been pretty much redirected there to get them out of there, right?
now,
My question about the guy smiling is like, there's people willing to die to get on this plane, but he's smiling. And it didn't appear like they were all either get on the plane or die.
Right.
what if he
Like,
was
does the
Taliban?
Taliban literally they're just going to start killing everybody?
So
No, right?
That was
Like,
my
they're-
biggest thing. How many people did the Taliban actually sneak on that fucking flight
Well,
and just pretend to be scared?
I don't think anyone got on the flight that wasn't supposed to. That's the point. Like, They weren't letting like just whoever could fit.
You don't think?
No.
Yeah.
How many? Hold on. Did I read a? I'm sorry, Franco.
Pretty hard. I do know it's pretty hard to get on the aircraft because there's been several guys I know that have worked really hard. Like you can see his Instagram. I don't know him personally. Like, all my other buddies do. I feel like I should know him just because of the number of people we all know, but I don't. His Instagram name is like Killzone3. He's at Naval Academy right now teaching. But like his interpreter, this guy Jack, like he went through major extreme like effort to get this guy basically to Kabul airport. This Air Force like captain found him outside, like got him in. He got his whole family out. But it's definitely like I think there was people on the airport already, and
they saw people getting on
Kabul, and then but I don't think anyone got on those planes that weren't supposed to. That's really
right. I think they helped their buddies out.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people saw them getting on and thought it was like, hey, let's go too. Like, just tried to go. And
what's the scene right now in Kabul, like around there?
Dude, I couldn't imagine.
If you guys want to really see what's going on there, go follow a page on Twitter called Refugees Lives Matter.
Okay.
And go look at the videos they are posting. It is disturbing to say the least.
I saw some kids get beat up, and
you see them like literally torturing interpreters that are left there. Like you see there's one video where they're literally just jumping on this guy's chest, and you could almost like tell that like his chest is breaking as they're jumping on him. Then there's 3 other guys like all tied together being beaten. So there's another video of this guy like they tarred his whole entire head and face.
Oh my!
Is that our fault? You know, or what?
No, it's like
we defended that.
I mean, it's the Taliban's fault, but
right? It's not our fault, right? Like at the end of the day, you have to want to you have to want to be in charge of your country. You had 20 years to prepare for this moment. You fucking chose not to.
Why are we not out of South Korea then? Same deal.
It's
like,
probably
the only reason we were supposed to hand.
I think it's a little bit different than that.
We were supposed to hand them
maybe.
back over full control of their military in 2012. We still haven't done it because they are like, no, we're not ready.
Yeah.
We're not ready.
Probably beneficial both of us to be there.
There's a lot of strategic importance to have the U.S. military near you. Like as much as like Japan, complains about Okinawa, you guys don't even exist as a society.
My sister was
if you don't have a military base pumping money into you.
Right.
Like, there was a big reason why
that's
Afghanistan.
True.
Like I'm shocked Afghanistan wanted us to leave. They were getting so much money for us to be there. Like South Korea, it's like, we're not ready. Please,
Afghanistan's
but Afghanistan's been getting money and shit from us since Reagan.
No, their biggest economy, and of course this is unfounded too, over the last 20 years has been stuff that falls off the back of American trucks. And that's no BS.
Or makes sense to me.
Or blown off.
Yeah. Just stuff that they can then sell.
Joke, but
that was like their main.
So like black market
everything.
Weapons, ammunition,
everything. Just the stuff we leave, the extra stuff, just the stuff the bases.
Well, then
just overkill from the bases, whatever.
Well,
then, that's what everyone's biggest fear about all the MRAPs and everything that was left there. It's not that the Taliban's going to use them. They really honestly don't have the money to use them. It's who the Taliban's going to sell everything to. And China's there buying up every piece of technology that they don't have today.
And up in the game.
Yep, they're like, cool. Knox, got it. Nods, whatever you call them.
Yeah. Gonna up this a little bit.
Scan Eagles, got it.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Got the CAD files.
Reverse engineer this, like everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we can make this better right here.
Why don't we just send in, drop some flyers in, civilians? Exit the area.
Yeah.
Or bombing this bitch and blowing up all
Okay,
this stuff.
1 second. I don't get why none of that shit was rigged to go, dude.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Aren't you supposed to,
No, I'm talking about straight up the presidential palace. Like, they were all in there just taking pictures. I'm like, why wasn't that shit rigged?
Yeah, or the trap.
It was so easy.
Or the
it was right. I mean,
or just because they're friends. That's what he said. They're all buddies.
Just the entire city of Kabul,
Who didn't think of that
Kaboom.
shit?
Kaboom.
So
nice.
Kaboom. I like
just
it.
Kidding. That's
Change
dumb.
the L to an M.
Very dumb. All right.
Well, we appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, man.
It was actually great. I want to.
This was the most insightful thing I've ever heard, and I wish it could continue.
And I want to call you whenever we have a political question, and we want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, you want to be a regular.
I enjoy your take.
Listen, you guys can have me on whenever you want.
Hell yeah.
When the Giants start 0-4, have me on because I gotta have a whole lot.
Well, the Giants are trash. So
Listen, I'm not
Saquon Barkley's made of paper mache.
We haven't even won a division championship since 2010.
Because you have a real team called the Redskins, formerly, that win it every year. At 7-9.
You just made him like hotter than this whole situation in Afghanistan.
The Skins. He knows that.
Listen,
I'll tell you what. He gives
your man child. You have the biggest man child I've ever
Chase
seen in
Young.
my life.
He does great Giants rants at the end of every game.
All
right,
right,
how stupid they were.
How about it?
Yeah.
Hey, the NFL season is around us. Let's go.
All right,
we'll do some NFC East bullshit.
Yeah.
We'll get you on a little more regular.
Yeah, great. We had a great time, man. Honestly. So, well, have a good night, Franco, man.
Yeah,
we appreciate
it. Franco, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your service and everything you've done for this country, my friend.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Much love, man. Good luck.
Go Skins.
Bye.
Later. Hung up.